Yes, so. Oh, you thought you'd seen the last of me, but nope, I am back. And oh boy, it has been a long couple of months. University has been an absolute freaking bitch of a thing. But it's over now! Today was the last day, so I'm here and expect videos and content and all that fun stuff. However, weekly wrap-ups are no longer going to be a thing because I cannot maintain that. But anyways, I am here with my wrap-up for last month, which was May, and I did really well. I read 12 books. The thing is, part 2 of them, they were all rereads. That's because at the start of the month, first week of the month, was the Eurathon for May, and it was rereads. And so first I have all the books that I read for that. So first book I read was The Real Inspector Hound by Tom Stoppard. I read this last year for university, and I liked it at the time, but I was but now I do really like this. Mostly because I actually understand the whole thing, and oh my god, it is the fourth wall joke to end all fourth wall jokes. Like, if you love metafiction, you're going to love this. A lot. Then I read The Blue Day book by Bradley and Trevor Green. Nailing it. And it's just a little collection of great animal pics and fun little bits, and just all in the name of cheering you up, and oh my god, it works. It really does work, and it's adorable. And if you haven't read this already, seriously, it's kind of the book that everyone needs on their bookshelf, but not a lot of people have it, and I don't understand why. It's perfect. And next I reread Goth Girl and We Go to the Mouse, and the first time I read it, I liked it, but I only gave it 3 stars. This time around, absolute 5-star, and oh, this has quickly become, apart from Harry Potter, this is my favorite middle grade series ever. So good. You need to read this if you love literary puns. Just all the puns. All the puns. Then I read Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by Newt Scamander, or technically J.K. Rowling. And it's kind of one of those books that if you need to read it. Yeah, if you haven't read it already, what are you doing? It's kind of a thing that you need to do if you like Harry Potter. And so, of course, I really enjoyed it. And the next book I reread was Goth Girl and The Fit Worse Than Death. Oh, that part. Again, all the puns. All the puns, but this time we have artist puns, we have chef puns, and we have the James Bond puns, and all James Bond puns. And if you haven't read these books yet, you need to get on that. Then I read The Demigod Files by Rick Riordan, and yeah, I also really enjoy this. This is like maybe my 7th time rereading this, because first time I read it was like 5 years ago, a long time ago. But yep, again, enjoyed. Love the short stories and all the little factoids and such. And the last book I read for the readathon was, fortunately, The Milk. And again, it's just a fun this is just a fun little book. Lots of great illustrations, and yeah. And I liked it the same amount as the last time I read it. Gave it 4 stars, and yeah. Then, for this month, I decided to continue the trend of rereads. And, so I read Will Grayson, Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan, and this is probably my favorite John Green book. And it's just hilarity ensues, and oh my god, Tiny Cooper. He is an unstoppable force of fantastic amazingness. And just, And, yeah. Highly recommend, and yeah, 4 stars. And first time I read this was 2013, I think. Then my first non-reread of the month was The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot, and oh my god, this was the most laborious 80 pages I've ever had to read. I finished it. I'll give it that. I managed to finish it, mostly because it was only 80 pages. I had to read this for course. If I didn't have to read this for university, why did I thought it was? If I didn't have to read it for university, I would never have picked it up. Oh my god, the pretentiousness is just mind-numbing. And it also doesn't help that I don't actually like poetry. I know. A goth kid that doesn't like poetry. I know, I could just feel all my golf points just draining away. Oh well. I gave it a 1 star, and just... Then I reread the first volume of Detective Conan, or Metante Conan. It's untranslated. It was a gift from a girl that I was hosting back 2012. And, yeah, it's great. It's a really enjoyable manga. You should get on this series. In English, it's called Case Closed, but they changed the names around. Shinichi becomes Jimmy, and Ran becomes Rachel, and that's just like, why? Why can't you just have kept their names as the right name? Come on, people. Come on. Anyways, it's a good series, and lots of fun things happen. Like, in the first, 20 pages, a guy gets decapitated, and it's fantastic. In my other non-reread, To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf, also for university, and I DNF'd this after 40 pages. Holy Jesus Christ, this is terrible. Modernism. Fuck modernism so much. I hated this. It was boring, it was pretentious, and the writing was just the worst. And I really hope that I don't have to analyze any passages from this in my exam, because I haven't actually properly read this. And the last book I read this month was Sleeper in the Spindle by Neil Gaiman and Chris Riddell. And this is so great. On the outside, it is beautiful. On the inside, it is beautiful. And it's worth the money. Yes, it is an expensive book, but it is completely worth it. And you should all pick this up and read it, because it's short, it's enjoyable, and hey, Snow White and Sleeping Beauty all in one book. Yeah. And so that is everything that I read this month. I read a total of 1,657 pages, and 3 classics towards my goal of 15. So that's good, and I will see you at the end of my month, end of this month, with this month's wrap.